Well, it's the 10th anniversary on the war on terror. The terror alert has risen this weekend. How are you feeling in Newtown today? Safe, secure, or?
Pretty safe. Going to be travelling on a plane on September 11, so that's a bit interesting.
American airline or?
No, just a Virgin airline. So
Air.
Yeah.
All right. More serious question. 95% of Afghans haven't even heard of September 11. Does that surprise you in any way?
No, it does surprise me because their whole country is pretty affected by September 11. If it didn't happen, there probably wouldn't be the war in Afghanistan at the moment. So yeah, definitely surprising.
And you're a pretty young bloke. How old were you when September 11, the big day hit us?
I was 16.
Okay.
16. I was in year 11. Yeah.
Okay, so they're pretty formative years. So you've grown up basically with the war on terror.
Yep, I remember it happening. I was watching Rove, and they kind of interrupted the show to like scrolling down the bottom. The plane has hit the first tower, and then watched live as the second one hit the tower. So yeah.
And sorry to interrupt. They've spent $4 trillion on the war on terror. Do you think that's been an effective way of spending public money?
No, definitely not. Maybe the war in Afghanistan might have been worthwhile, but they delayed it too long, and they went into Iraq when they shouldn't have. Wasted a lot of money and a lot of people's lives in Iraq.
And one last question: the official version of September 11. Do you think the general public know the full facts of what happened on that day, or do you think we've just?
I don't know. I'm a bit of a skeptic. I've watched all the In Plain Sight and all the 9/11 docos, and I think the American government definitely had some prior knowledge, like things like telling Condoleezza Rice and stuff not to take her flight on the day, and the mayor of New York telling the firemen to get out of the other tower before they pulled their people out. And, it seems so dodgy, and yeah, I don't know. Being an engineering student, I find it a bit hard to believe how they fell down. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the key questions for me always was, didn't they have flight simulators in the Middle East? It's like, why did they actually have to send the terrorists to America to learn to fly? Because I'm sure that there are pilots in the Middle East. So that was always the one that got me. I was like, well, why did they spend so much time over there learning to fly?
Yeah, no, it definitely seems a bit dodgy to me.
All right, great. Thanks for your time, mate.
Always.
Great. All right, it's the 10th anniversary on the war on terror, and the terror alert has risen this weekend. How are you feeling here in Newtown?
I heard about the terror alert yesterday, and I haven't thought about it at all today. So I suppose I'm not taking it too seriously.
Yourself?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty comfortable
Pretty
here.
safe?
Yeah.
95% of Afghans haven't even heard of September 11. Does that surprise you in any way?
I haven't heard that figure, and it is surprising given that there's a war that's going on for 10 years now, or almost 10 years, because of September 11. But in terms of Afghans feeling like what happened in the US is now as the consequence of their war in their country, I don't see why they should make that link.
There's been over $4 trillion spent now on the war on terror. Do you think that has been money well spent?
No.
Yeah, absolutely not. I think that money could have been much better spent in Afghanistan on education, on rebuilding water systems and sanitation. Yeah, not blowing things up.
Now, if you're talking about getting rid of like terrorist elements and getting rid of extremists, then I think what they're doing is the exact opposite, because it seems, in my understanding, it creates more because people are so disenfranchised with what's going on in their country and not relating to that. Doing the exact opposite and actually spending money on people, giving them education, opportunity, jobs, would take away the motivation for people to go and do crazy things.
And secondly, the official version of September 11, do you believe that the general public knows the general facts of what happened on that day, or do you think that there's a lot of questions that remain unanswered about the events?
Yeah, I'm not that interested in trying to find that out. Like, I think it's all so loaded. Like, it's difficult to get information that you know is accurate, sure. But I think it's not worth spending a whole lot of time trying to work that out. Like, it's a bad thing that happens, and I think more to the point is trying to work out how to have a society that's a better place to live in, rather than trying to make things worse, which is what's happening out of it.
And what about yourself? Do you believe the official version of the events of that day, or do you think that there may be some unanswered questions that should be investigated?
I think that it's highly likely that people came and were really unhappy with America's foreign policy. So I know that there's a lot of discussion about maybe it was instigated by the US government or whatever, but I just think that I think that maybe there's some unanswered questions, but more to the point, the US have used it to instigate this war on terror, and that's kind of the important thing at the moment, and stopping that war is pretty important as well.
All right, great guys, thanks for your time. Anniversary on the war on terror. The terror alert has risen this week. How are you feeling? Safe? Secure?
Well, it's kind of like conflicting information. Like, sometimes they ramble on the information that they give us in society, and it's like affects us so much, like Effexor or like some of those medications, like some block, some hit, some like exhale, inhale. But the matter is that the more that we add to something, the more it's going to be remembered. Like the same idea of Anzacs or war, and if we keep perpetuating and glorifying a situation, then it's a tragedy in itself. But we've got to be remembered of human fuck-ups.
Good, yeah, that's cool. What about we've had $4 trillion spent now on the war on terror. Do you think that's been an effective use of resources?
I don't know. Like, East Timor didn't go through, but I think like the movies are all there. But I don't know what Morris would say if he was still around today. Probably.
Which one? Sorry, who?
Martin Luther King.
Oh,
if he
yeah.
was still around today, like he'd probably say something like, get your greedy hands off it or something.
Yeah, I think it'd definitely be against it. Now, with the official version of the government version of what happened on September 11, do you believe that that's true, or do you think there's something that we're not being told?
I looked at that thing, the guy was bringing out notes and stuff when he was the big conspiracy theorist of it. There was an idea, like we were in the psych unit this week and we were talking about this, and there was an idea, the Jewish context coming in of, and there was something as if they were protected, but it's not usual for the Philistines to do that. So no Jews were in the buildings on 9/11. So there's just some context to that maybe there is a God who does look after the children of Israel.
Yeah, there's a lot to suggest. You're probably spot on with that. Now, Barack Obama became president, and came in with a lot of hope. And do you really think Barack's any different from Dick Cheney or George Bush or any of those guys?
Barack is he's good, man. Like, I think he's uses junk as well. So I'm all for him.
All right, good on you, mate. Thanks for your time. Do you want a DVD?
Yeah. What are you guys doing this for?
For an independent media website. That's
Yeah.
that's the address. So check it out sometime.
Basically, we're saying politicians are shit, and Monsanto are shit, and big corporations are shit, and we're just trying to get that word out there.
Alright, this will be good.
No worries, buddy. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, man.
See ya. All right, it's the 10th anniversary on the war on terror. The terror alert has risen this week. Are you feeling any less safe or secure today?
To be honest, not really, no.
How old were you when September 11 hit?
I was 15.
So you've grown up basically with the war on terror.
Yeah.
95% of Afghans haven't even heard of September 11. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, that really surprises me.
And $4 trillion has been spent in the war on terror. Do you think that money's been well spent?
No, I wouldn't even know how it's been spent.
Do you think it's been effective though? Do you think that the war on terror has been successful?
No, I don't think so.
And the official version on the war on terror on September 11, do you think there are maybe some unanswered questions about that day, or that maybe we've been told everything that happened, or?
Yeah, I think there's a lot that we don't know, that we haven't been told. But I don't think we ever will know a lot of things.
All right, well, great. Thanks for your time. All right, I'm Brett. Patrick, how are you, mate?
Not bad.
Well, basically, tomorrow's the 10th anniversary on the war on terror. The terror alert has risen over the weekend. Are you feeling any less safe and secure today?
Not really, because I feel I don't been doing nothing wrong myself. That's a personal opinion, you know.
And you were in New York at that time. What was it like there?
My brother, he lived there, and I was in 2001.
Yeah.
And I've been 6 months before happened 9/11, and so it was very shocked to me, very shocked. I was about maybe 20 blocks from downtown Manhattan, where happened the situation.
So you left the country because you were...
After 6 months, after when happened 9/11, because I've been thinking to going to stay there for a few years, but there was too much paranoia in the street, a lot of people scared. They put too much things in the advertising, the news, on TV and the radio every day, and I get a little bit sick with that things, no?
Yeah.
So that's what I decided to leave New York and come back to Australia, because Australia is more quiet.
And the official version on what happened on that day, do you believe that we've been told everything that took place, or do you believe the government versions of the events?
I don't think they told everything. I was living there. A lot of people, they believe that thing, the same what I say in New York. The people, they say is they cover a lot of stuff not real.
So how do you think governments get away with it these days, when most people that you speak to don't actually really believe the official version, yet governments still seem to be able to tell people whatever they want and keep getting away with it?
I think it's a lot of I have no idea what really happened there, but they cover a lot of the real situation.
Yeah.
Because what happened 9/11, a lot of people, they don't believe they maybe something together with the government too, you know, what I hear, you know. But I don't know, I don't really know, but it was very scary. Some of my friends, they died from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
That was very sad. And I don't tell many people here in Australia, because not many people, they knew I was there in that time. So it was very sad, and some of my friends, they died in the building there. And I got photos too. I took photo when it happened, when they killed the crash.
All right, well, thanks so much for your time.
Okay.
What was your name again?
Patrick.
Patrick, thanks so much, Patrick. There's a DVD here if you want.
Okay.
Is that it? That's a documentary on world events.
All right, you'll be around here, no? Because I would like to show you the photos.
Yeah.
What I took from the building there.
No,
Well, there's an email address.
yeah.
Okay.
If you can contact us on that email address.
It's actually awesome. It's the ghost.